So, leftism is a mental disorder. There's got to be something wrong in your brain. There has to be. 100%. I never thought I would have seen this craziness. So, I only found out about this now. This was uploaded on April the 17th, so I'm guessing it must have happened around that time. So, protesters in London gathered outside the South African embassy to oppose the sentencing of Julius the Crazy Malema. They claimed the decision is politically motivated and accused the government of national unity of acting under pressure, alleging influence from Donald Trump. The group supporting Malema abroad is known as the Partisan Defense Committee. Let's listen to what these imbeciles have to say. Absolutely insane.
Democrats have spoken very well about why we're here today and why the workers' movement internationally must join forces to defend Julius Malema, a fighter against imperialism. Let's be very, very clear. South Africa's so-called government of national unity threatens to lock him up, not because of any particular act he did at a rally, which hurt nobody.
Completely untrue.
It is because
they do realize that the government of national unity, the GNU here in South Africa, the ANC, they love their boy JuJu. They love him, and they've got the majority of the GNU. They're still, for all intents and purposes, they're still in power. These guys know nothing about nothing. Man, this guy needs to go to sleep, man. This guy needs to go take a nap. What is this guy on about? Anyway.
The EFF, his party, stands for things like seizing the land, seizing the banks, seizing industry.
Yes.
Demands that are in the interest of the black masses of South Africa.
Seizing land, seizing banks, seizing opportunities, 145 race-based laws against white people, BBBEE, oppressing white people, farm murders. These people are delusional.
That's why they're going after him. Now, look, it will take massive class struggle to fight to achieve those demands. And the first step in doing that is the united defense of Julius Malema, to defend fighters under attack who stand for those things, despite political differences. That's what united front defense means. And that is the way that the masses in South Africa can start to fight back against this GNU government, but especially to fight back against
the GNU government. Is against the white people too. What is he talking about? What is this guy talking about? Oh my gosh, what news did these people listen to?
It's American imperialism. Because as Comrade Kate made very clear in introducing this demonstration.
There's that word, huh? Comrade. That's it. That is it. With Julius here fashioning like a freaking what's that guy's name? Che Guevara.
That awesome. Is who is calling the shots. A number of comrades spoke about how Trump imperialism.
Oh.
Because as Comrade Kate made very clear in introducing this demonstration, that is who is calling the shots. A number of comrades spoke about how Trump, really just played with Cyril Ramaphosa in the White House a couple years ago and treated him like dirt. But Trump made very clear that Julius Malema was his #1 target. Okay? And why was that? It's because of what he stood for. And what is the GNU?
Killing white people.
But simply a slave to Trump's demands. I got to put in an extra word here about...
The GNU has opposed Trump on exactly everything. The ambassador, Brent Bozell, can't get any work done. Because it's impossible. They're opposing him on absolutely everything. What a moron.
Cuba. You know, the ANC in the South African Communist Party, which is part of this government, every year they have rallies celebrating like the victory at Quito Carnivale, right? Angola in 1988, which led directly, actually, to the final crisis of the apartheid government in South Africa. But here they are, serving their slave master, Trump, who's trying to strangle the Cuban Revolution to death.
What?
So, look, this is the thing about the South African working class.
So this guy's saying that somehow Trump is the the mastermind behind the GNU. And somehow the GNU is pandering to Trump and what an idiot.
Important. So Trump wants to dictate policy. That includes these tariffs that are threatening hundreds of thousands of steel workers and auto workers' jobs, right? So when they go after Malema, it's in the immediate interest of the trade unions to join in defense of Malema. And it also shows why the class struggle in South Africa cannot move forward
I don't know.
unless it sees the fight against imperialism as essential to its cause. Now I want to relate that a bit to the case in Britain, and why the British working class has a special duty to take up this fight.
Okay.
This is a broken, very sick country, and it's got a ruling class that to this day...
A ruling class? Who's the ruling class? Huh? Who's the ruling class? They're all black people. What's he talking about? They're all comrades. Julius is part of the ruling class. He's the shining boy. He's the gold... What? Who are the people driving around in all the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris? It definitely ain't me. These people are broken, eh? You can't reason with them. Their paradigm on realities, it's gone. Absolutely insane. That's a communist mindset, eh? Through and through. Nah, this one's a real one.
Lives off of the spoils of their rotten empire, and that includes back when they had South Africa in their claws. And they constructed a racist police state so that the banks and the mining companies could exploit the hell out of black South African workers.
We'll get to you know who ended up killing more, the black people or the white people. We'll get to it.
Right? Now at home today, those same capitalists.
And they'll forget about, you know, all the schools that the white people built them. They'll forget about all the businesses. They'll forget about all the fact that most of the black people were employed, not like now. What, 39%? Is it 39% of the youth are unemployed, and like 21% of the working class black people are unemployed? That's under their government, right? That's under the government that they voted for. Yeah. But yeah, apartheid was much, much worse. Okay.
They can't produce anything because they've destroyed industry. But they do make life hell for working people, and it doesn't matter who's in power.
The black people make life hell for the working people. The black people make life hell for the working people. They've had 32 years to sort out the crap. They've done exactly nothing, and the country's gone backwards, guy. Because of the black people. Because of the black people in leadership. Black people are suffering and white people are suffering because of the black people in leadership. Everything is exactly the opposite of what he says.
Tories, Labor, God help us reform. And look, you know, so today Starmer likes to say, you know, because the Iran war is causing a bit of trouble for Trump's imperialist allies. And so he likes to tut about how he's not going to support the blocking of the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, but what a liar. What about the British bases where U.S. fighter jets are refueling so they can bomb the hell out of Iran?
Right, so this guy must be part of the Greens or something like that. Because if he's saying that two-tier Kier is not communist for this guy, then this guy's got to be part of the Greens or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Muslim as well. Must be. That's awesome. Great stuff, man.
Now look, meanwhile, of course, the same British government is doing what? It's going to rearm. Billions and billions and billions of dollars to rearm that's going to come right out of the hides of British workers. So look, I guess the point is this, right? There's one thing that ties together the struggles of workers here with a fight to free Palestine, to defend Iran, to save Cuba, to defend Julius Malema. It's a need to resist and defeat imperialism. And socialists here have to fight.
Imperialism and colonization, right? It's like the Bantu expansion also happened here in South. Like the Bantu expansion happened. They colonized too, right? The black people, they colonized too. They also came down and colonized from the Khoisan people. They don't bring that up. What's happening in your country? Colonization by the illegal immigrants, by the Muslims. Colonization. Man, this guy's nuts.
For a new working class leadership that can tie these struggles together into one giant fist, a power that can smash the City of London bosses and its oppression of people from South Asia to South Africa to Ireland and to Britain itself. So we say, defend Malema, join the fight, workers of the world, unite.
All right, comrade. All right. You're in for a rude awakening. Somehow these people think that, because, they're on the side of the communists, of like the black people, of the Islamists. I'm not saying all black people are communists. Not at all. Just like I'm not saying all white people are conservatives and based Christian individuals. Clearly that guy is definitely not. That's why I know it's got nothing to do with the race thing. It's an ideology thing. But these people have the mentality of, if they side with the hardcore Julius Malemas of the world, that somehow when utopia happens, they're gonna be looked at favorably and promoted to positions of power or whatever. Nobody takes kindly to a turncoat. No one. Anyway, this is the reason that Julius Malema got into trouble this time around to begin with. And, the point is he's still not in jail. He's probably not going to go to jail. But this is the reason. Let's make this bigger. So that is Julius Malema popping off a gun in public. At obviously one of his little rally things that he does. He does sure like to do his little rallies. Antagonizing everybody and getting everybody riled up. Discharging a gun in public. Fantastic. And then you've got the the hypocrisy. Alright, this clip is really soft. Let me turn this up. Man, these freaking people. Insane. I don't know how soft it is.
In Etequin, playing with guns in an environment. In Etequin, playing with guns in an environment which is highly, charged. We cannot afford that. If the ANC is serious about dealing with people who are killing people here, the first step will be to open a case against those ones who are caught right-handed on a video playing with firearms. So we hope the ANC...
I don't know how to stop my laughter. Is it hurting?
Insane. Their level of self-awareness is amazing. He's gonna criticize people how they need to be dealt with, and they need to get taken to court and locked up if they play with guns in a highly charged environment. He does the same damn thing. I don't know. So insane. And this is what happened straight after straight after the court ruling.
Shoot to kill him. Kill him. Shoot to kill him. Kill him. Kill the poor. The farmer. Kill the poor.
He goes off
Shoot to kill
singing
Kill him.
the song again, straight
Kill
after
the poor. The farmer.
the court ruling.
Kill the poor. The farmer. I repeat. Kill the poor. The farmer. Kill the poor.
This guy's laughing at us.
The farmer. Brr, pa.
They're actually laughing at us.
Brr, pa. Pa. Asian. Shoot to kill.
Those are the same clothes that he wore to court. It must have been the same damn day.
For fighting the enemy.
So yeah, this was straight, addresses supporters outside the court. This was like straight after the court ruling.
For fighting the enemy, and the enemy is white supremacists. We can tell you now,
We can't
no
catch a breaker,
sober
man.
judge will ever agree that a person shoot one bullet and then is sentenced for 5 years.
That was like at least 5
It
bullets.
is because she has not read her own judgment to know that a reasonable, normal presiding officer will never come to that determination. So, comrades, we are done with her.
Same speech.
That's why when she
Comrades.
said to me, you can leave now on a free bail, I looked at her and I said, bye-bye. Because I've seen her ugly face for too long. So I'm going, I will no longer appear before that ugly white face. I'm going to the highest court where they don't use emotions. They use the law. What does the law say? And apply
The law says you should be locked up. And people have been pandering to him for so long. And the court system is so corrupt. And he gets away with it time and time again. Now it looks like he's going to go back to court because of what he said about this judge lady, who obviously, yes, happened to be white, obviously. So he's going back to court because of this racial BS that he loves throwing out. This man continually thinks he's above the law, and to be honest, because of the corrupt system in South Africa, he unfortunately is.
the law. So we must not even look back. We're going forward.
Going forward into the abyss. Jeez, like, man, I don't know. So yeah, here's another one from America as well. The real reason why they're targeting Julius Malema. Okay, let's listen to this. AfriForum-based people, white supremacist group, of course. The one responsive of her bringing in charge against him. Who wrote this? The one responsive of her bringing in charge against him for having a gun. Okay, whatever, that makes no sense. The same white supremacist organization who encouraged Trump to say whites were suffering from genocide in South Africa. Okay, yeah, so it's okay. Anti-white stuff, of course. You gotta have broad shoulders if you want to be a white guy.
They sentenced Julian Malema to 5 years in prison yesterday.
It's Julius Malema. Just, I know it's hard. Just try to get it right a little bit, eh? Come on.
They sentenced Julian Malema to 5 years in prison yesterday. And the organization that brought the charges was AfriForum.
White
now let me tell you who
supremacist.
AfriForum really is. AfriForum is an organization made up primarily of Afrikaners. They are the descendants of Dutch, French, and German colonizers who invaded South Africa centuries ago.
Again, black people came down from Nigeria and Cameroon and all of the Central African countries, right? They came down too, eh? And they also colonized. It's not like whites have the trademark on colonization. They also did it. Your people, they also did it. Just let's get that right. Yeah.
They built their wealth on stolen land, stolen labor, and then they formalized that theft into
I'm so sorry that white people have this thing of sort of taking land that is not in use, that is terrible, that's got nothing going for it, and they tend to start building stuff from that. I'm so sorry that they do that. I don't know what to say. It's sort of we can't help ourselves. We like making stuff better. Sorry about that.
a system that the world came to know as apartheid. Now they call themselves a civil rights organization, but AfriForum's real purpose is to protect the economic inequality that made South Africa so appealing to European colonizers in the first place. 7% of the population controlling 73% of the land. That is not a community under threat. That is apartheid's blueprint, still running. And when democracy at home refused to protect it, well, they flew to Washington, walked into the White House, and they found a friend who shared their politics. And they asked a foreign government to do what the South African people wouldn't. That friend was Donald Trump.
AfriForum has tried many, many times to speak to Cyril Ramaphosa, to address the concerns with the ANC, to address the farm murders, to address Julius Malema's racial rhetoric, to address Kill the Boer, to address all the crazy BEE laws, and they continually get overlooked. They continually get told, don't be babies, just grow up, get over it, allow us to oppress you, allow us to be racist to you, because black people, obviously, as we know clearly, they can't be racists. It's only white people that can be racist, of course. They've tried. They've been unsuccessful. We're running out of options.
AfriForum lobbied the Trump administration hard. They pushed the lie that white South Africans were victims of genocide.
And it wasn't even that hard. As far as I understand, I already know, under the Biden administration, they were already starting to look at South Africa. Obviously, under the Biden administration, they'll just kick the can down the road. But the US government was already looking at South Africa saying this is a bit crazy. That's why I thank heavens for Trump, to be honest, because he was the only guy that has the balls to actually do anything about it.
And that lie was enough. Trump cut all aid to South Africa. More than 8,000 healthcare workers lost their jobs overnight. Without those programs, over 600,000 HIV-related deaths could...
Right, the programs, where all the money went to those programs, the money that was stolen, right, by the government, the corruption, the fraud, right, those programs, okay. Hardly any of it went to actual people with HIV. Hardly any of it went to medical treatment. Those programs? Gotcha.
Follow in the next decades. Those aren't white farmers being persecuted. Those are black South Africans dying because a minority lobby group decided that maintaining their wealth and land mattered more than the lives of the people around them.
Those are black South Africans suffering because there's black elites stealing money like they've always been doing.
And standing in the Oval Office beside Trump when he ambushed President Ramaphosa on camera was Elon Musk, born and raised under apartheid, who poured hundreds of millions of dollars into putting Trump back in power. That's not a coincidence. This is coordination. A white minority that lost political control through democracy, using American power to punish an entire nation into submission. The original inhabitants of that land are still waiting for justice. And AfriForum's answer to that wait is to go around the will of the South African people entirely. African Americans understand this clearly. The same ideology gutting programs for black South Africans is gutting programs for us. The same machine and the same money. It's the same contempt for black life,
it's always
dressed
these damn
up in the
whites,
language of law and order.
These damn whites.
From Johannesburg to Chi-Town, from Soweto to Harlem, our struggles have always been connected.
Man, I feel you, sister. I feel
away.
True.
Because what's happening
so
to our people in South Africa is just a preview
people.
of what happens when we stay silent everywhere.
Come to South Africa
and
then.
If you didn't know.
Come see what's happening.
Now you know.
True, sister. So true. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, here we go. This is it, eh?
Shoot to kill. Kilama. Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor. The farmer. Kill the poor.
Yeah.
The farmer. I repeat. Kill the poor. The farmer.
Okay, doesn't want to disclose it. Yeah, again. So this is kind of what he's known for.
Shoot to kill. Yamasa.
All separate occasions, right?
The poor. The farmer.
As South Africa marked Human Rights Day, opposition Julius Malema launched his voter registration campaign, during which he sang "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer," referring to white farmers. 2026 has seen a sharp rise in farm attacks across the country.
Kill the poor. The farmer.
On Human Rights Day, hey? Great stuff. Here again. Just around the time of the court date as well, of course. But it's just a struggle song, right? It's you know, don't take it literally. And yeah, these are the repercussions of the struggle song. White people getting killed. White people getting killed. You can pause, I'm not going to read it. White people getting killed. More white people getting killed. More white people getting killed. And of course, Julius is going to make it out, obviously, as they always do.
I know operation
With the
to
victim?
Yeah,
With the
the one
victim.
that moves people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that operation?
Well, it's self-hate. Eh? Yeah, it's a self-hate. Eh? Black people are not loved all over the world.
Oh,
All over the world. You know, if you get into China, a young child,
Yeah.
have you ever maybe considered, perhaps, that people have this animosity about black people across the world because of how they act? People are hesitant and wary of black people in general because of how you act. If you want to go ahead and use the claim, we hate ourselves so much, so we don't know what to do, so we just become so violent because we hate ourselves. You know what, man? That's a you thing. You can't use that as an excuse to be an asshole. And you'll also notice the
of a
music that they
Chinese
play.
is going to come here and do this to you
Wow.
because she thinks you are dirty. So she thinks,
Hey.
yeah, that's us, black people who are hated all over the world.
Oh,
And for another black person
man.
to hate another black person who's hated all over the world, what is that? What is that? I mean, let's show each other love. That's all I'm saying. Let's show criminals. Let's deal with. I have no time for thugs. I don't tolerate thugs. I've got no time for thugs.
you got no time
But
for
I'm
thugs.
not going to
But
beat
he's
up
the
a
biggest
person
one.
because he's dark and ugly in my eyes, and then ask the person to tell me what is this in Venda. If you're to ask me what is this in Spade, I don't know. So I must celebrate that. I must be part of that. You call people of Guyana illegal. Today, as we speak, someone was addressing Begikele. They're saying in this police station there are too many Tsonga speaking police and vendors. Where are we going to get? Be careful what you are asking for. Be careful what you are asking for, especially when at the dark one.
I mean, Craig.
You see, if we will survive.
No, le indololwane. Indololwane, yeah, indololwane.
When you just look at this one.
No. It's because we hate ourselves so much. That's why we crash out. Okay. But then, of course, you know, that's obviously pandering to, you know, a select audience, you know, the ones that are all bent on emotions and they're bleeding hearts, you know, they'll love that kind of thing. Oh yes, Julius Malema, he's a true victim. Oh yes, he's trying to bring black people together. No, he's not. But obviously that's, you know, for a special select narrative. But this is the real Julius Malema.
I will sing this song as and when I feel like. It's not my song, it's a struggle song.
True, brother.
I saw some McG wannabe, one of these podcast people who failed with a very low followers, for so his relatives only that are following him. He says, I must educate Elon Musk. What is that?
Elon?
No, the one of Twitter. Elon Musk. I must educate Elon Musk. Why must I educate Elon Musk? He looks like an illiterate. The only thing that protects him is his white skin.
I mean, it's kind of
Elon Musk wants to learn about this song. The records
black,
are there
right?
in court.
Can't even pronounce
Let
his
him
name
go and
properly.
read the judgment. Let him go and listen to my arguments in court. I will sing this song as and when I feel like.
True, brother. True, comrade. So true. And then last one. Here's another prime Julius Malema. Of course, you know, let's put it in context. You know, this is the Julius Malema, the victim. The darling now of every liberal around the world. This guy's the comrade, the victim, the freedom fighter, right? He's trying to do a fantastic thing, but man, just can't get a break from the white man. This is why we must join forces with him. Show our solidarity.
It is white people who must be ashamed of what they've done to us. You cannot turn tables now and want to blame me for the crimes committed by white people. It is a white regime. It is white people who must be ashamed of what they've done to us. You cannot turn tables now and want to blame me for the crimes committed by white people. It is a white regime that killed children in 1976. It is the white regime that killed children in the 80s and in the early 90s. It is white people who engaged in the wars of dispossession and forcefully took our land and our cows. Why can't you take responsibility? Why can't you for once just say sorry for the crimes we've committed against you? Why do you want to become victims when we are the biggest victims here? When we have lost everything? When we as black people remain a traumatized nation? A nation that doesn't know what the future holds for them. At least you are guaranteed the future. At least you know if it doesn't work for you here, you can go somewhere else. We've got nowhere to go. And then you come here and want to accuse me, a victim of racism, of being a racist. It's a huge insult, not only to me, but to black people. Madiba coerced us into reconciling with people who have never been one with. That was a myth. It is unrealistic. You can't reconcile if you've never been together. You never came here with an intention to be with us. You came here with an intention to conquer us. And we remain conquered.
We remain conquered. After all these years, man, 32 years, you guys are still conquered. And man, they'll flog that apartheid horse till the day it dies. In fact, it's been dead for 32 years. So here we go. How many black people were killed by other black people during the apartheid? There we go. Estimates from the South African Human Rights Commission, or HRC, indicate that during the apartheid era, the vast majority of deaths resulting from political violence were caused by black-on-black conflict. Specifically, the HRC reported that 92% of the violent deaths recorded between June 1990 and July 1993 were attributed to Africans killing Africans. This period saw approximately 8,580 deaths out of a total of 9,325 violent incidents, driven primarily by conflicts between the Inkatha Freedom Party, black people, and the African ANC Congress, other black people, as well as turf wars and hostile killings. Overall, the HRC submitted figures to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, stating that approximately 21,000 people died due to political violence in South Africa and Namibia between 1948 and 1994. Of these, the majority of the deaths in the final years of apartheid were not caused by the state security forces, i.e. white people, which were responsible for roughly 5.6% only of the deaths in 1990 to 1993 period, but rather by internal political and tribal conflicts. Obviously, once again, between the IFP and the ANC. Once again, both black people. So there you have it. So yeah, like this mindset, I can understand. This is the reverse patriot, I guess. Yeah, he's a patriot, just, you know, exactly the opposite as to how we are patriots. So I get that. I can completely understand. This is sold out. He's a real one. But it's these ones. Do I still have it open? Yeah. Man, it's these ones that I really don't understand. These people, unbelievable. Baffling. Yeah. Anyway, folks, that's it, and I'll check you on the next one. Cheers.